Hello and welcome to Santa's Movies, and today we're going to be reviewing a dog movie. Hear that, Jess? See Spot Run. I'm so excited and I hope you are too. My dog just licked me on my face and I'm ready to go. See Spot Run. Woof, woof, woof.
From the outset, See Spot Run just looks like one of those crummy family movies or direct-to-video kids movies. And I mean, definitely it is like one of those films. However, there's a lot more to it than just that. It's definitely up there in the most unbalanced films I've ever seen territory. I mean, it has so many bad scenes, horrible overused cliches, the same old boring and expected and overused ways to make the audience laugh, and it's just overall strange. However, there's a lot of good scenes and heartwarming scenes as well, which is really strange. I mean, I was thinking when I was watching these scenes, why am I actually feeling for these characters and feeling their emotions? And it just didn't make sense. I mean, one scene I'm just going, oh my god, what is this? And then the next scene I'm just going, hey, this is okay. So it's a bizarre film. And it's also important to know that this film is directed by John Whitzel, who did the Big Mama's House movies. And yeah, I can already say, get ready for that humour because that's how it is. So it's See Spot Run, let's go boy, come on!
So the film opens with a secret mob group selling what looks to be the illegal trade of drugs. However, it's just a selling of deck chairs and paint. But of course, the FBI doesn't know this, and they storm in to investigate what's going down, thinking that they're selling illegal drugs when they're actually not. But they're nearly humiliated by this mistake until they soon realize that it actually is a bull operation, but it isn't drugs. The lead gang member runs away, and a dog called Agent 11, yeah, just go with it, who's supposed to be the big leader of the FBI, chases after the evil mob boss, which misses the first shot at the dog. Then another shot. And then a third shot. Come on. You're supposed to be the big boss. Come on, seriously? What is this? The dog then... okay, that's such a bad joke. Come on, just moving on.
Oh no! No!
We then cut to our main protagonist of the story and... oh... justice.
I'm sorry, what? You want your 80s embarrassment back? No. That's 2001's now. Remember the movie? See Spot Run? Yeah. I'm sorry if there's anything I can do. You want me to do a Nintendo commit? Call James Rolfe. Call James Rolfe, that's a guy. Yeah, call him.
And our mailman, played by David Arquette, is of course cliche as thick, afraid of dogs, and usually sets up traps for the evil dogs on this one street, and... oh my gosh, that's masterpiece worthy. That is just, oh. But of course, one dog is evil, and that's the dog that gets him every time, building on his fear of being afraid of dogs. So we meet up with David's eccentric friend in the film, played by the always sidekick of a white man in a shitty film, Anthony Anderson. And I gotta say, I wish this film had more of this guy, because he's actually hugely entertaining, and he doesn't have to say any jokes to get a laugh out of me. So, actually, that's pretty impressive. Gold star! We then see David's messed up sex life, as well as him trying to impress his crush Leslie Bibb from Talladega Nights with a gift to her son. But then he's kicked out minutes later. Wow, this guy struck out before he even began.
I mean, is it lower than me in terms of trying to impress girls? I'm not saying something.
We then see the crazy antics of the two so-called friends who get in a fight, and then... I don't get this part. The movie makes a poor joke about Anderson trying to do the splits, and yeah, it doesn't work.
Alright, I'm stuck. You alright?
But Bibb's character has to go out of town for a few hours, so she gets that card that keeps striking out at her to watch her son. And yes, that's Jake from 2.5 Men, by the way, 4 years before he started on the show. He watches him for a while along with Anderson before the real babysitter calls and says she is sick. So the unlikeliest of couples have to hang out for a while, and would you believe the shenanigans that goes down here? Meanwhile at police headquarters, Agent 11 is being deported due to fears he may be in danger because he nearly got killed in training. Jesus, these guys are horrible. Well, they're mob bosses. Yeah, I need to watch The Godfather. But the show must go on, and David must bring Jake to work with him. Yeah, I'm being lazy and calling him Jake. Okay, sorry, Angus to work with him. And of course, this is where the dog comes into the story, sneaking into David's mailman van. And wouldn't you know it, Jake's mum of course calls at the worst possible hour. Then we get a breakdancing sequence. Strange. Yeah, and it looks fake, but I'm just gonna pretend it's real because I think it looks cool. No, seriously, this actually looks pretty cool, and they actually put a little bit of effort into this part. Just wish they put more effort into the rest of the movie! We then cross to a typical mob sidekicks and oh no.
Did you? No. Well, I told Paulie. You told Paulie?
He's a gossip.
I had to. I was supposed to do that thing with him in Atlanta. He promised he'll keep his mouth shut.
Yeah, right.
This probably would have been a good movie if they didn't use cliche after cliche after cliche. I mean, I guess they're trying to be a parody of a parody with the whole mob boss thing and the mobsters and stuff, but no, it's just bad.
So after Angus cries and we get the whole cliche sobbing of him wanting the dog, they then bring the dog back to the flat. And Jake and Dave soon realise that the dog does shit all because of course it's an FBI agent. Then we get the joke from all the trailers, and you know...
I've nearly had it! How many times would you get this much leftover marketing in the movie from the trailers? You know, that's what this movie is. The leftover from last week's dinner. It's just crap!
Okay, so after skipping that weak scene, we then get the dog crime fighting scene in the park, because of course, this movie just wants to clarify, hey everyone, it's a police dog! So the dog takes the wallet from the criminal, then returns it to its owner. And this is why the movie's protagonist isn't that enjoyable. He doesn't know what sign language even is, so he starts hitting the ladies. Good effort. You know, A for effort, big clap. Meanwhile, back in the middle of nowhere, more of the film's trailer problems are going down as Leslie is now officially stuck. During our crossover marathon, the female police officer is trying to seduce Michael, but all he wants is for his dog, Agent 11, to come back into his arms. Poor guy. But back at David's apartment, more hell breaks loose as he's locked out of his house by the dog.
No! No! It wasn't me! It was the one-armed man!
All different kinds of strange and disgusting antics occur, and yeah, you already know how painful these scenes are for me. I mean, come on, this is just borderline crap. Get it? Meanwhile, David and Angus are actually bonding as he gels up his hair, and I gotta say, this is the only part of the film where I actually felt some emotion. I mean, come on, most of the film is just stupid. This really is a variety film, as there's badness, there's some goodness, and there's even more badness. I don't get it!
What's the message so far? I got it! Try to avoid the two bosses. Bam! That's the message. It's like a video game.
The FBI finally find out that the dog really is missing, so the search begins. Meanwhile, the dog finally stops being an FBI agent and starts being a real dog again, as he goes to get the ball and brings it back. And yeah, I found better extras in my school. I mean, come on! Anyway, things now start to get remotely serious as the bumbling bad actors as mob bosses finally find the dog. All sorts of crazy antics happen in a pet store as the mob practically brings down the store and makes it more obvious that they are evil. And yes, seems legit at NASA, but I doubt that the gases would make someone float in a pet store, and I doubt those gases even exist in a pet store, what the fuck? We then get a crossover back to Leslie, you know, feck Leslie. So they report their problems into the bad end of the police force, and they realise that the police will just mock them, so they naturally leave. Then, this happens.
Oh, we're dead. We are so dead. You know, I never saw Godfather Part 3. It wasn't as good as the first two. I thought we'll have more time, Gino. Hey, Gino! I didn't think they'd let you out of Jersey. What are you doing here?
What do you say, Tommy? I just got a little business to finish up.
Oh, that's good. That's good. Great.
Okay, run along, Mr. Extra. That's enough 10 seconds of fame for you.
Meanwhile, back at Police HQ, the police officer that's really bad at his job gets caught for being too focused on mocking David and not being focused on the Agent 11 case. However, things are more important back at David's flat, as him and Angus both bond yet again. Aww. But the FBI, of course, then show up at David's flat and question him and Angus about the whereabouts of the two criminals, even after the whole squad walks right past them in the middle of the freaking opening of the goddamn flat. My God! Chief Wiggum himself is better than this whole police force, and that's saying something.
Robbery officer down, sure. And I'm Edward G. Robinson. Let that be a lesson to the rest of you, nuts.
But what's this? They're taking Agent 11 back? This isn't a police force, this is evil! The next morning, tensions between David and Angus get really bad, so Angus runs away. Then Dave gives Leslie what she deserved on the phone, well, that's what I think, and so she is off on a motorcycle to return back home.
You're taking me to my kid now!
After the dog actually breaks out of the FBI facility, David discovers Angus ran away, so he gets in the mailman van and eventually finds him.
Keep your mouth shut.
And after a forgiving speech between the two of them, the action yet again begins. David then lets the kid throw boxes at the mob guy when he could easily fall out of the truck while he's doing that. You know, I take it back. Leslie was right. This guy really is irresponsible. So they then arrive at Bleecker Street, and we know what's gonna come in handy. Oh boy. And yes, they get away from the mob bosses and get back to the flat. But oh no, the final boss has Michael all tied up and everything. And I actually gotta say, this is his best bits in terms of acting, that is, in the entire film. This boss is really bad at acting at the start of the film, and here he actually comes alive a little bit. So the lower graded mobsters return with the same dog still attached to his back. Oh my gosh. Yes, we get it. The joke is over. End it, please.
Highlight of the movie right there. 10 out of 10. 420 out of 10. Oh my. Oh, I don't want to sound like an evil person, but imagine you put that clip back together with that clip. Okay, I have some serious problems with animal cruelty.
So right before the worst happens to everyone, David uses his quick thinking to activate the electric collar, and god damn it, he's bad at acting again. God damn it, movie, you had me for a minute, you really did, then you stuffed it up, you freaking... So the mob boss and his associates get taken away, and you know what happens here, it's the joke that's been used over and over and over in the same movie, yeah. And the FBI decide to make the hard decision, to give the dog the choice to choose which owner it wants more. And of course, the dog chooses David and Jake. So everyone says their goodbyes. However, Bloody Bib comes back and she doesn't have a clue what's happened to Angus or what he's done. For God's sakes. And that's the end of the movie. Okay, so... But the movie's not over yet. I wish it was, for God's sakes. They meet up later in a park out of a complete coinky dink, and the film ends with her forgiving him and suddenly having a huge crush on him. Wow.
And so they kiss. And they kiss. And they kiss. Seriously? You're gonna do me like that, man? You're gonna do me like that? Yeah, we're gonna do that? Alright, okay. I'm not gonna lose it. I'm not gonna... 90 minutes of movie! 90 minutes of movie, and I didn't even get rodent on girl action at the end. What a piece of shit. And just to add insult to injury, they used Stevie Wonder's Someone Who Needs Me.
Sea Spot Run is probably the most unbalanced film I've ever seen in my entire life. I mean, it starts off stupid, points get interesting. It then gets stupid again, and then it starts to get interesting for 1 second. I mean, come on. Seriously? I don't recommend it, and I think it's a bit of crap. Like that guy's back. When he gets covered in crap. So thanks for tuning in today. It was a big waste of your time, but still you enjoyed yourself. You watched a YouTube video, you wasted your time, but hey, you still enjoyed yourself. I don't know how to end videos, but all I can say is, Sea Spot Run? Nah. Not Sea Spot Run. Sea Spot take a shit and watch that guy get covered in, and it was so bad! Oh yeah, I gotta flip my chair, because that's my new trademark. Oh, okay.
For once in my life, I have someone who needs me.